And welcome back to another drawing tutorial with the Paintology drawing app by Ferdouse. My name's Ferdouse, and I use the Paintology drawing app available from the Google Play Store. You can see here this one, Paintology app, and then you'll see it here, Paintology. And that one is the app, so you can see for yourself here on Paintology's on the Google Store. And these are the examples of drawings you can make on the phone. So this you may be quite new to this channel or to this live stream, and you'll see that typically drawings in the digital format are not made in the usual way. And this is because I come from a traditional background, and I managed to take some of those skill sets and apply it to digital. So therefore my artwork looks pretty natural, and it's hard to distinguish whether it was made in digital or not. So this is one of the artwork I made yesterday in the live stream. So I have a daily live stream. So what I tend to do is start off with the live stream on Paintology live channel, and then I move on to the Ferdouse channel and to finish the drawing. So you can see the link in the description of this live stream. You'll find all the links there. So before I dive into this tutorial of drawing water waves, which is the subject today, I'm going to quickly go through a few items of interest. This is the Google Classroom classwork. It's got a lot of, it's been structured so you can actually learn some of the techniques and skills that I'm going to show you on the Paintology, which I show typically on the drawing app. The reason why you may think that drawing is particularly black and white, but it's not. It's actually the development of techniques and skill sets. And this has been, this Paintology has been designed to teach you those techniques, not in which people have forgotten that actually exist in the traditional world, but most people have forgotten it in the digital world. So the what I do bring to the app, it's quite unique, very different from a lot of the other apps, is that they focus on tools to provide you with many tools as possible to draw. Here I'm providing you with techniques, the innate skills that make a great artist, the very thing that people go on about, saying, do you need skill, do you need talent to draw like that? Those are the traits or the techniques that you're going to learn. So there's no reason for you to pose that question. The talent or skill you're going to learn from here. So it's primarily the misunderstanding or lack of understanding of beginners is that they don't realize that there's techniques to doing all this, and it's the reason why I can make those type of drawings that can be mistaken for having done in traditional. So this is it's very structured, and it points to all the tutorials that exist on the app. I'll show you what I mean. So once you're on the home page of this app, Paintology, you can go to these tutorials and you'll find over 600 tutorials designed to develop those techniques and art skills that you may not be aware of. And it's not just a doodling app. This is a very advanced app, which if you put some attention towards it, you'll find your skills in drawing rapidly improve. You don't become dependent on an app and their particular tool sets. You know, people go on about this app does everything, it's got all the tools you want. that's not your aim. Your aim in art should be developing techniques irrespective of whatever art mediums that you have. That's why the good artists can separate themselves from the majority of the artists that sits at the bottom, and because they develop these techniques. So that's what I'm going to show you, and that's what I've been showing the last 2 months. So another area apart from this Google Classroom is for you to, it's those 600 tutorials are tied to this, so it points to this, and then you can do a search to get to the tutorial. So there'll be an ID associated with that specific tutorial that's been taught in the classroom, and then you'll go directly to that by typing in the number. Okay, I don't know, I can't remember offhand, but let me type this in and see if it pulls up a tutorial. Unfortunately, no tutorial on that. 338. So, okay, let's look at this way. You might understand it this way. Let's have a look. Okay, you see these numbers, 319. So if you do that here, let's say 319. Oops. 319. You'll get to the leopard tutorial. There it is, 319. So then you can use these colors to draw, and then you can magnify. See these numbers? It's just like paint by numbers, yeah? So you can use the line brush and then just change the brush size and that. So this is how this organized. It's not just an app given to you with hundreds of tools for you to get on with it. It's actually designed to teach you fundamentals of art. So it's essentially an academic type of app. It will teach you from the ground up. And when art is taught this manner, you actually accelerate your learning in art. Unless you just want to doodle and do simple things, then it's fine. But this, ironically enough, people come to it and then they see that it's lacking in tools, or a lot of tools that they find in many other apps, and they immediately jump to the conclusion it's an app for baby. It can't be further from the truth. So let me show you a few of my drawings. So that's and also, okay, but before I do that, so there's the classroom, points to all the tutorials, and then let me show you another page which is important. This page is quite important, paintology.com, and then you'll find on the home page this button, daily step-by-step video tutorials. Click on that and you'll come to this page, and this is where I maintain all the live streams, and you can see many of the completed drawings there. This is one I did, and they're all done on the phone. So typically I draw like this. This is my Note 10 phone. It's about 6.5-inch screen size, something like that. But any Android phone with your finger is perfectly fine, and I tend to use a stylus because it's convenient for me, but you can use a finger. It's perfectly fine. So this is the page where I maintain all the live streams I've done up to date, and you can see many drawings I've done here. See, this is on the phone. On the phone, you can see this one, flower. So all the completed drawings I've done. This is sunset done in landscape mode. So you can see that it's very difficult to tell whether this was done digitally, as you can see. Okay, so this way of drawing is what I'm going to show you here. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. And I'm going to pull up. Oh, I have to pull up the reference image so you can follow. Oh, of course, you should follow along with me by all means. So please do follow along with me, install the app. This is the best way to learn. You're not watching and then doing, you're actually following along to me by doing exactly on the same platform. So I go to the reference image. This is the drawing we're going to do. And there's good reasons why I picked these drawings. So I'm downloading this drawing. And remember, you can download any type of your drawings that you want, anything you want. So draw. So from the home page, I click on draw, and then I click on trace image. And then here it is. This is the image that I've decided I'm going to draw today. And first, I'm going to draw half of it in this session with Paintology, and the rest I'll finish the drawing with the Ferdouse channel and the other channel. So you'll see all the links there. So when you actually make a drawing, as a beginner, you probably don't know any of these techniques. You have a vague idea of the drawing process, but you've seen it, but you have no clue how to go about it. And the point is that you probably, if you go to a class, any class in art, they will always start talking about shading, drawing, and drawing, and tones and values. Tones and values are fundamental to any good drawing. It's the reason why good artists are able to make a drawing that looks impressive as opposed to a flat drawing made by beginners. And the reason why, you shouldn't, dismiss yourself, you can't draw just because you start off like that. Nobody does the 100-meter sprint in, under 10 seconds from day one, unless you've been running all your life or something. So it takes training, practice, just like anything else, training, practice. But the fortunate thing is drawing on the Paintology app is exceptionally fun and addictive, and and I recommend you drawing like this because it's also beneficial for you to take time out from all the social media and the distractions of the world, fast-paced world, and then just take an hour out and then draw and get lost in the moment. And that's what drawing does. You get lost in the moment, and it's been recommended by many psychologists, like for the health of mind. So look at this drawing, right? Look at this image reference. Look at the colors. I picked this specifically black and white reason because look, the contrast is unbelievable, isn't it? So how are we going to do that? Well, I'm going to teach you because since I don't know what level you guys are at, but I guess you're quite beginning. So I'm going to go on and make this in block coloring. So you get an idea by doing block coloring, which is a technique developed unique only to Paintology. You will get an idea of, you'll fine tune your mind towards what a drawing should be. Basically, you're looking at this image and you're trying to assemble the tones and values that goes on here and then translate that into your drawing. So basically the way this works is that the top half is the reference image and this half is your drawing. Okay, got it? So as simple as that. And I'm on the line brush. Okay, there. That's all it is. So this top half, anywhere here, you pick the color picker, it will pick the color of that reference image and you can use that for your own drawing. That's the great beauty of this trace, and trace in this digital format is way more powerful than if you do anything manually, because it's this versatility that you have, right? And that's the reason why I was able to create block coloring and allow you fine tune your brain, and it tunes your brain and rapidly and makes you understand how to operate the tools and get the right gray tones. So right now this drawing is black and white and we have a color chart on the bottom, but we want to switch to grayscale here, and then you can see It's much easier. And remember, if you're trying to understand gray tones and understand tones and shading and values, etc., believe me, there's nothing better than starting off with a grayscale. So that's why I'm pointing to this grayscale, right? So the first thing is, what is block coloring? Block coloring, think of it as like a paint by numbers. So essentially, you are taking colors and applying it, but it doesn't have any numbers. That's all. So you're basically doing the same thing, but it's way more versatile and very powerful, and it allows you to make fine tune your brain into thinking about tones and appreciating the tones and values. Once you've appreciated that, you will be able to translate that understanding to any art medium. That's the purpose of drawing. You want to learn to draw and learn the techniques that you can apply to anything, isn't it? Like, for example, if you're understanding of maths, you can apply that mathematics to any other subject like chemistry or biology, and physics and that, yeah? So astronomy, that's that kind of thing. So let's first, to do block coloring, we're going to select a rough size of the brush, which I kept to about 20%, 19%. And then I'm going to pick colors out of this. So basically, I'm going to transfer these tones to my drawing. So for example, I can see tones going on, a lot of tones going on in this area, in this particular drawing. Okay, these waves, this water, the gray midtones here, the very dark tones for at the bottom here, and then this halo effect, which we're going to create as well on the background here. So what we do first is lay down the foundational colors, very, very similar to drawing in the traditional format. Many people, if you've seen any artwork taken from zero all the way to finish, you will know that they start blank canvas or a blank drawing piece paper, and then somehow they magically render the whole canvas with their tools, and take it to all the way to a masterpiece, right? But that's unique to the individual, that they're actually using techniques, and the process of drawing is not easily conveyed in the traditional medium because they're using a set of tools which you may not have. Plus, and additionally, they may be having a larger nib size for drawing, a larger brush or a smaller brush with different bristles, and then they may be, and then maybe they're doing the stroke fast, slow, whatever, and on the pencil they may be applying pressure to that. But the great beauty of drawing and showing you these techniques of drawing in the digital medium is that you can open up your app and you will be able to set it to exactly what I have, and then do the same thing similarly. So we're going to first do a complete block coloring of, meaning we're going to get our canvas to have the primary colors here, right? So let's see. So you get here, and I pick this color here, there, right? And then I'm just going to pick the color picker again and pick the local color there. And then I'm going to pick the color picker again, pick the other color there. And then I'm going to pick that color picker and pick this color in the corner. That's all. Because I know it's a halo, that's why I'm going around it like that, yeah? There. See the different colors that we're picking up and applying to our drawing? So just trying to lay down. So what's happening here? What's basically happening is when I pick the color picker, essentially picking the tones where my stylus lands. Yeah, so here. This one we probably got off a little bit. Yes, we did. then because I was picking the white part there, right there. See, it's just there. See the tones how it's changed? There, so just sweep along and get the colors that you can see, right? And you can leave out see, it's almost like I've got a range of colors I want to do here. Just like, see, be careful where you land. If you land on a different color and you're trying to render this color, here, see, there, there. Otherwise, you'll be picking a dark color. You want to pick the colors that are here. That's the colors I picked, and applied to my drawing. This is my own drawing canvas, okay? So, you can see that there. See how the light changes, and then we're able to go from dark all the way to the waves. Now, we're going to continue using this brush and get these black tones. Yeah, you may think it's all black, but it's probably a good idea to now and then just pick the color picker to make sure there's no tonal variations in the black as well. Remember, our eyes can be very deceiving, so the tones that you may be selecting are not necessarily, well, let's pick the black, and it's definitely black. It's not picking any other color. There's variation in the color there. Can you see in the color palette? So the colors are still quite uniform. It's not like varies. So just lay down. So this is what I have so far. And now you may think, well, how are you going to do this so small? Well, it's very easy. We're going to do this. I'm going to save that. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to listen to my developer of the Paintology and open it up again, So I'm going to save it, and then I open up. You don't have to do this. I do this because we're testing the new release of this app coming soon. But for the live, it's fine. This is the great power of getting into detail, the zoom function, yeah? So now we can reduce this to all the way down practically half, and see if we've got the same brush size that we can play with. We do in some areas, but not all of them. So what we can do is we can just cover some of the brush size where it will squeeze in to the areas, right? The colors. So color picker, and then this. Again, do the areas that the brush fits, that's all. And then if you want to do the small areas, yep, you got it. We're gonna have to reduce the brush size. Color picker, get that size. Color picker, that size. It's a bit like paint by numbers. No drawing experience required. And why do we do this? Because it's improving your drawing. It's helping you to understand tones as well. Because we tend to generally draw from reference image or a real life object, isn't it? And less from imagination. But the thing is, to learn techniques, you really need to home in on your techniques, yeah? and this is what it's doing, okay? So now you've got this. Now you're thinking, well, what do we have here? Let's have a look what we have. So we got the basis of the wave coming into shape, but nothing really good yet. So what do we've got this, we're going to create this, right? So before we do this, I want to try and blend the background. And how do we blend the background? It's very, very easy. Yeah. All we do is we can switch to the shade brush, and then the shade brush will allow us to blend the background. And let me show you how that works. So we take the cursor all the way to our drawing canvas, and then pick the color picker, and then take that dark color where it meets the border. Oops, I forgot totally. Shade brush. Yeah, we need to move to shade brush. Okay, keep your 100%. No changes there. So click on the icon and then just simply shade. See that? Do you see what's happening? It's very wonderful, isn't it? The way it works. Actually, it's almost like magic. It disappears. So we could increase the brush size a little bit. And then just take that black where the edges are. We don't want those edges showing, right? The dark here. So we're just going to shade this really quickly. We're not going to spend too much time. Right there, and then pick the colors, adjacent colors, and just shade it. So I got 14%, 100%, no changes. Right, see that? This. See how that works? And then here, pick this color and just shade. So you'll see it working just like that. No big deal. This. There. See? Very easy. And then on the right side, here, got a little bit of that. So this just take down, because this take the darker color and move it to the lighter region. That's all. Okay. And then just don't be thinking about what you need to do. Just do it, and you'll find you'll get the knack of shading very easily. It's very intuitive. In fact, I got a question. I had a question from. I received a question from in Quora, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is one thing I forgot to mention. Is I'm an active user in Quora, so paintology.quora.com. So, okay, so paintology.quora, and there was a lady who asked about how to make shading intuitive, and I said, you know, you need to check out my the way I do it manually here, and it's so easy. Can you see it? How easy that is? Just amazing, isn't it? And then she gave me an upvote, actually. Okay, so I'm gonna see how it transitions to the white. So let's play with the hardness a little bit, right? And then see if we can have more control over how much light. There. Play with this density. It means it gives you more control over how much application. So if you're at higher hardness, it means that you will produce the tone more quicker. So just think of it like a pencil, right? HB, pencil. So very easy. We're just getting this background out the way, okay? That's all we're doing. And then while we're at it, actually I'm going to try a different approach. So you can see, you can smooth it out even more. And to do that, it's like increase the brush again, keep the density halfway, and then pick the colors and just move it around. That's it. Just move it around. So increase even more. Just move it around. And use a circular motion if you have to. See how it's sort of, because the large size, see how that's sort of smoothed out, right, compared to before. And then we can get the black color and take it without giving us sort of a border, and then increase that if you need to. So you have more control over the dark. See that? How that's sort of smooth in. And then this one as well. So we don't have this edge that defines the darks. And then increase it to actually pick the color picker of the dark. And then you can see how it's fading out. So yeah, this is working very well, isn't it? So we've made that. And see, and then we can take that back using that color turn we got. Right, just any areas you see there, lovely. There, this is how your brain tunes into just how we made that shading. It's very easy. If you used any blending tools and that, can you imagine how much work would be involved? You'd have to work out the circular shape, then bring out the cursor all the way to the center. By the way, I'm an advanced user of Photoshop and that, but I don't use it for drawing. And you do that, drag it, then you'd select the blending option, the gradient you need. And I don't think anything can beat the pleasure of seeing the shading working like this in real time. So what I'm going to do is save that. Let me see how we're doing for time, because I have to watch 9:03. So we got like half an hour on this channel. So we're going to carry on. And let me do what the developer said. Save this and then open it up again. Okay. Save. And then as for you guys, you don't have to do that because I'm working on a prototype here. Prototype app. So this is what we have here, okay? We're nowhere near close to it, but we've got some resemblance of a background image, okay? And now what we're going to do is let's take a good look at these grayscales that makes a difference to capturing that wave. We want to capture the essence of that wave. And how do we do it? Well, let's look at it close up and see what's going on here. See, what have we got? We haven't got anything on there. We have left that because the scale is too small for us to capture that. Right? We're going to go anything. So we need to do something. So you might have guessed that you could reduce the brush size. Of course, we don't want to use a shade brush. That was only for blending. So I'm going to head back to the line brush. And then perhaps you might think we may want to just have a smaller brush. Just look how small that is. Yeah. So let's do this. Okay. Let's look at this. Let's look at this drawing, and notice there's a range of mid-tone gray here. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is there's several ways. So I'm just putting down some of the mid-tones here and still using the color picker there. Can you see it? So I'm just doing the color picker with the smaller brush, 4.65%, and then just simply picking the colors and then putting these mid-tones, mid-gray tones. And then we can see what that looks like, right? That's a dark tone. You can see how it moves here on the grayscale. This is what's improving your overall ability to appreciate tones. Do you see how it fell back a little bit because of the gray tone? And this one's fallen back quite a bit. Let's see how much. That's quite dark here, right? And then here, that's dark. And then this one will probably be light. Look how light this one's gone all the way to the left side. So this is very important. I'm doing this to show you the tones that happens in this drawing, the tones that make up. To see how it's all the way to the top, this black, and then this one is extremely on the way to the top, and this one's falling back the grayscale. So just keep watching that grayscale. See the tones that we're picking up and applying with this smaller brush, yeah? Then see that's right below. And then this white bit, see this white, it's falling all the way to the left side. Can you see it? It's amazing. This one's fallen, gone all the way to the. Let's see what we have now. We haven't got anything near to it, but let's just continue because this is really good practice. No, and then we can zoom in and get those smaller details. And you know, here, still a big brush size. You'll find that when you want to get detail, you'll be have to work at. You're gonna have to work at sort of much smaller brush than even 4.46%. Okay. So that's what I'm done. I'm just filling in areas that this brush size sort of fits. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. Brush size. And then I'm moving it around just to see there. See the dark tones there? I'm just capturing. I'm allowing myself to capture just the dark tones here. So this is all practice, I'm not the one who's going to just keep talking about it. I want you to practice. And this is a perfect way to practice. It's really fun as well, once you get used to it. Okay, you see all these now? I can still touch with this brush size. That's all I'm doing. Right, the darker colors. I'm just focusing on darker colors that fits this brush, that's all. Okay. And see anywhere that you missed. Just doing these dark colors. And then we'll make our art piece come into life, isn't it? So this is excellent for you to understand tones, really get your head around what the tones are, dark and light values. And then really, while you're doing this, it's not really so much difficult to do, but it's actually teaching you drawing strokes as well as applying, getting really tuned into these different tones, yeah? So that's what we have here. Let's have a look. So this is the first shapes of the waves coming alive, but we're not anywhere near the completion. And then what we can do, what we're doing for time, is, yes, looking good. We'll do work on about 5-10 minutes. And now I'm going to go and do something interesting. And let's see, I'm going to go and do this bit and show you with a smaller brush. We're still keeping 100%, but 2%, yeah? Now, 2%, we can get into these tight little areas. See that? And then just keep going there. There. Don't worry about if you've missed. It's excellent practice for you to do this. Right? There. So I'm just using that size brush to get the areas that I may have missed, yeah? Not miss, but the small areas that I obviously couldn't get to with the bigger, but this one is small for me to use, and I can get some more detail, the tonal. See that there? See that here? There. This one works fine with this brush here. So you're going to see as you keep doing this, your waves are going to come alive. They'll be like ready to splash on the table or come or fall into a cup or something, right? That's all we're looking for, to get details. See these tones here? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just refining these tones. I've kept this very simple so you can understand what block coloring is and the real power of this method of drawing. And remember, as you do this, your brain is so tuned into tones, you don't need this trace approach of drawing. You will be able to do freehand, much like the way I do. I might improve my drawing significantly freehand style by practicing with this. Right. So just simply go here and pick these colors. So these are the different colors that gives depth and shape to the whole drawing. There, you see I'm following the thing. You can do the same, exactly the same. Follow these tonal variations. You're not drawing, just following them. Let's see how much you go. See how the details are coming alive. It's so interesting, isn't it? no skills as such required, but yet we're getting the details down using this method of block coloring. It's a bit like paint by numbers, and it's not like you're, in fact, don't, I, paint by numbers was well, sorry, I should start again. For the longest time, when after I left school, as a kid, my art teacher was so disappointed that I didn't take up art. And there's nothing you could do, at that time. You pick a subject that's going to be important and allows you to bring in the bread, and I chose science and technology. And then for many years remained dormant, my drawing. And as much as I'd like to have tried it, I could not get into the groove. And then it was accidentally by paint by numbers, I did a particular drawing or painting of a paint by numbers I found in a hobby shop, and that's launched my drawing. I mean, my artistic interest again, rekindled it. That's all it needed. Just needed a catalyst, a boost, and it never goes away. If you think it's going to go away, you're quite wrong. It's like riding a bike, I think. So what have we got? We're getting these shapes. Look at these nice little grey tones here. We're also putting down grey tones that we couldn't have done. Look here, I'm just picking these. This really helps you to understand tonal variations in anything you draw, and then allowing you to capture it in your own drawing. See how far we've got? How are we doing for time? Yeah, I think we're going to stop here and then carry on into the next, because I need a few minutes break, into the next the live stream, which is going to be in about 10 minutes. And you please, you can check the link and please go to that, and I'll join you there to finish this wonderful drawing. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.